forget to like and subscribe.
And hit the notification bell
so we can go to college and get more knowledge.
Looking forward, rapid changes are taking place in the global monetary system that may affect the international role of the dollar in the future. Most major economies already have or are in the process of developing instant 24/7 payments. Our own FedNow service will be coming online in 2023. And in light of the tremendous growth in crypto assets and stablecoins, we are examining whether a U.S. central bank digital currency would improve upon what is an already safe and efficient domestic payment system.
Hey, I'm Reinhard Kate, and welcome to episode 28 of The Ripple Drop. We've got software engineer Mayuka Vidari, who's going to talk everything interoperability with us today. Stay tuned for the drop. Why is interoperability in blockchain important, and is there any blockchain that's suitable for all projects?
Interoperability in blockchain is important because you can't really have one blockchain that's suitable for everything. In any development project, you have trade-offs between what you can optimize and what you can prioritize. You can't have it all. For example, Ethereum is great for the EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine, and Solidity smart contracts, and you can kind of do whatever you want. But there is a little bit of a trade-off that comes there because all of these smart contracts have to be processed. Your throughput's limited a little more. Versus the Xrp Ledger is great for payments, but because of the way it's designed, having this kind of open, do whatever you want functionality is a little harder to do. But, what it's good at, it's really good at. So you've got these trade-offs. And so the objective of interoperability is, how do we have it all? How can we use our value in all these different ways without needing to have these siloed ecosystems? Without interoperability, all of these different blockchains will be siloed ecosystems. And so you can't really move your value around very easily. But with interoperability, you can move that value around. You could, store some of it in a brand new experimental DeFi protocol on Ethereum. You can move it to something similar to the Xrp Ledger that's more designed for payments, and then you can not have to worry about your gas fees and everything and send a bunch of payments out.
What's the current state of the industry with interoperability? Is it tribal?
So crypto in and of itself can be tribal. A lot of people are very attached to the chains that they support and are less open to looking at and working with other chains. But that's not everyone. There are a lot of crypto projects that are working very hard on interoperability. Some of them are quote unquote layer 0 projects where they're kind of designed to be an underlying connector blockchain that connects all of these layer 1 protocols. So other projects are working on bridges. Basically, how do you transfer your value from one layer 1 to another? You can build a bridge between them and just transfer your value to and from them.
So how do those bridges work? How specifically can you transfer your value from, say, Ethereum to the Xrp Ledger?
Most of them, what they do is you can lock your value on one side, and then they will mint some sort of wrapped token on the other side. So for example, if you're trying to transfer your Ethereum to the Xrp Ledger, what you might do is you would lock it in a smart contract on Ethereum, and then you'll have some way of proving on the Xrp Ledger that you've locked that money there, or you'll have some centralized party that does the moving of the funds for you. And then on the Xrp Ledger, you can claim the funds that you locked.
So how do blockchains currently bridge with one another? And is there any friction with existing methods?
The friction that exists, a lot of it is, you still have to deal with these high gas fees. The bridges that are less centralized and a little more trust minimized, sometimes they have to do a lot of computation in order to prove that you actually did lock those funds. It can cost a lot of gas in order to actually interact with those smart contracts. There's also, a lot of opportunities for hacking these bridges.
Let's talk about the Xrp Ledger. So how does it specifically bridge with other blockchains, and is that way unique?
So there are some bridges. For example, Allbridge recently added XRP support, so you can move funds between the Xrp Ledger and I believe the Binance Smart Chain. We at Ripple are also working on a production release of sidechains. And what sidechains are is you have the main network, the main blockchain, and sidechains are kind of a parallel network that the idea is they derive their value from the main chain. And so they're kind of like a layer 1.5 type of thing, like not quite a layer 1, but because also not quite a layer 2, because it does have its own validators and validations. So it's not depending on the main network to actually validate its transactions. And so what Ripple's doing is we're working on adding support for sidechains to the XRP Ledger, and that will allow people to essentially add custom functionality to the XRP Ledger via sidechains. They can write their own sidechains that have whatever special features that they need or want, and basically have their own blockchain to play around with. And they don't need to worry about needing to somehow make a bridge, because that's already built into what we're doing. And we're also working on EVM-based sidechains, Ethereum Virtual Machine. And so that will allow people to basically use Solidity smart contracts, but still within the XRP Ledger ecosystem. So you can, for example, you have all your XRP, you could transfer it over to this EVM sidechain, interact with whatever smart contracts you want, and leave it there for whatever period of time you want, or move it back and continue to interact with the DEX or something like that.
And then last but not least, what interoperability and unifying protocol use cases get you personally most excited?
At the moment, I'm pretty excited about bridges. I think that there's a lot of interesting things going on there, and I did a little bit of research of bridges in the crypto world a few weeks ago, and I was really interested by the fact that you have all of these different types of bridges. Some of them you have an external node that essentially signs an attestation saying that you lock the funds on the source chain in order to be able to unlock it on the other chain. And some just forward the block headers between the two chains and let the smart contracts that are on either side of the bridge kind of do the proof themselves based on these headers. But all of these have some sort of external node that is doing the heavy lifting of proving the fact that you actually did lock the funds on the source chain when you're making a cross-chain transfer. So I'm really curious as to whether it's possible to have a truly trustless bridge, or a bridge where you're really only trusting the blockchain itself and you don't have to trust any external nodes.